Sure. Me or Blake? Abe. Mine? On live. Okay. So I have multiple monitors for one. I'll show you both. This is on my left hand side monitor now. So now I have the DOM heat map. And this is where you can tell resting liquidity above and below market. And this is all the bids, all the asks, at bid, at ask. Pretty simple. I have mine set to basically filter size like 85% to 95%. This is ES. Typically, I have like 100 lots minimum order, max order on 300. Uh, that's usually what I run to see some size into the market. And left hand side, here I have the volume by price and TPO charts on both the 30 minutes. This is where you get your volume profile levels. So you have like POCs by area high, by area lows down below. I do throw on a stochastic on there just for kicks, so it needs it too much. But this clearly you can tell when you're breaking below balance, breaking into balance into value, and POCs, things like that. And then next, I do have my 5 minute. So here's my 5 minute footprint on this side. Lots of lines I know, lots of lines that you can see, but 5 minutes is usually where I take most of my trades. I first use the hourly to tell me where to trade up against, profile levels or cosmic levels, STPs, etc. And then next I have my other side. I have the hourly footprints as well. So this is where I usually base my trades off of. Locate them, put them on a chart, and then next I have the time and sales. So that's it. That's all I use to trade. That's all I have. Pretty straightforward. 2 monitors. That's all I need. Right here. Ticks. Speed of tape. So how many ticks per second or per millisecond or sorry per second? Yeah, pretty cool. So like, the tape is really slow. Tend to get not to any trades really. So less than 1K. That moving very fast, but it gets over that. A little more aggression, hitting the tape. But it's like below 1K. I'm like, I kind of just wait, until I see more action. But right now, you're looking pretty good. I mean, for upside, of course, but this is a lot of short covering, I think. But yeah. My criteria for a full trade is that if I were to hold a long, let's say at the very bottom, let's say this is NQ, right? And my longest holds are the ones up against like hourly imbalances. So if I were to hold a trade, I mean, I want to make sure I'm getting with like at least a double stack of I'd say buy imbalances. And my criteria is that I just really hope these hold on the bottom really, right? Like your long term trades are like not long term trades, but your longer holds are usually the ones from the hour. In my point of view, yeah, you have your best holds on the hourly footprint, because it signifies a lot of action. Like for example, the on ES, I think it held it from 55, and I think I took it right around here. So all these buying balances on the bottom. I mean, yeah, I could have held the entire trade up because it's like 55. I took it right at 55, and 24,000 lots. I mean, to the buy side, and then again at 21,000 of them. So in this case, I want all these bad boys to hold. All right, that's the biggest bet. And typically from that, you can scalp it on the way up, of course, but usually the best holds came from me, at least, are from the hourly. And if I want to scalp, I just use levels, intraday levels, as indicators. Like I have, for me personally, I have like VWAPs, right, the mids, open, um, and things like that. Yeah, but if you want to know the simpler way, you take profits on the smaller footprints, like the 5 minute for me especially. I see a lot of aggression on the sell side, and I'm long up against a previous area. I'm gonna take profits. Like if they make any sense. Like even though I have, let's say, 3 lots running, like I might just take it all just to secure something, and I see you know a lot of resistance in the area in the past. I'm gonna take all of them off, or um, sometimes when I'm in profits, like today, I was in profits early. Then probably moving forward, I can probably hold 1 lot extra, 2 lots extra, um, to hold a little bit longer because I have profits to play with. But in the beginning of the day, I'm taking scalps. I'm taking scalps all in, all out until I gain some cushion for the day, and then I can go ahead and have like maybe longer trades, especially when you break IB again, or and you break IB low or IBH, things like that. How about you, Blake? He asked like, what's the criteria for you scalping, or or holding 1 lot runners, etc. Yeah, if you're gonna like all in, all out trades, or how do you know when to, this is more of a scalp, or this is more of a let it run? All right. To get to Dylan's question, will you go into more detail about the levels you trade off of? Right. Okay. Um. Well, I'll throw in the hourly footprint and the hourly footprint because that's how I use the most, to locate trades. Really. Um. You sound strong. Yeah. Um. I trade off of the cosmic pivots, and I altered mine on motive wave to basically match the intraday levels that the pivots have. So these are pretty the cosmic pivots, right? S1, S2, and then everything in between. And then I do also have the delta pivots, which I create from the 20K footprint using the strongest delta candle in the session. I draw a custom fib retracement off that, and there I have some confluence areas for me. This confluence area here is the 11,954 confluence around here on the pivot for the day. These areas, so these areas of confluence, I'll take them as zones, and then what happens when price gets to that zone, I look at price action there, right? See what's happening. This was a cosmic pivot, 11,790, right? Does a pivot here, 813, etc., etc. So I kind of noticed these patterns, or I kind of noticed what's happening when price gets at that level. And then Addie said, "Could you explain when you see aggression from buyers and sellers?" Gotcha. Well, here's NQ. Aggression of sellers would be here. So at the height of the day, right? You have they're trying to sell, right? They're trying to sell each time as you rally. There's some sellers aggregating, and then you have. I want to show this NQ. I mean, probably can't go back enough now, but yeah, there's probably sellers stacked here at 43. Let's see. You can't see anymore because the liquidity's gone. That's cool. Anyway, but usually you're gonna see on the DOM stack liquidity above, and you notice on the tape side on NQ, I notice flushes of blue. For me, that's a below bid, so they're trying to get out of the market. Um, they're hitting the tape, blue, 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 blue. This is probably also mainly sells. Look at the price where it's at, match the price to what's happening, and they're all blue. They're all trying to get out. Um, Yellow for me is all aggressive buying above bid. So I want to see flushes of them um, at certain price levels. That's what I'm looking at. But yeah, you have multiple sell imbalances on the footprint. You pair that up with what's happening on the tape, and if you see quick flushes of above bids or below asks, target below bids, most likely trying to get out of the market. If they are below bid, mm-hmm. Yeah, usually when they pull bids for me, like right now, I'm trying to bring the ES. It's ES, right? Yeah, ES, yeah, 160. So usually when they pull bids, they sometimes are spoofing the market, like they think you're gonna go down there. Um, right now there's bids what at 80 right now, right? Let's check that out. 80 or yeah, there's 226 of them, right? So for me, right now, if it's happening right now, if they pull these bids, I think they want to let go of this market. Like either they just want to let it go, like go higher. They no longer want to get filled anymore down here. Is just gonna rally. It's just gonna pump. Right. So typically, like they don't want to get filled anymore. They're just gonna ramp, and then they just keep having offers above. They pull this, they add this. They they pull liquidity here, they add it here. They notice there's something is up there, right? They don't. They're trying to spoof the market to go lower. Probably get filled on longs before it heads up, and then rally. Yeah, we hear you. Yeah. So pay attention now. Pay attention to the 80s. Right now, it's happening, and then we'll see with the tape here. Let's notice the tape and see what happens with the 80s. If it gets there. So big flush. 82.50. It's never getting there. Never getting there. Correct. So the flush of blue that came in earlier at 82.50 immediately get rebought back up. Same guys, same stack of yellows. 82.50. It just came across. Let's see what happens at 80 exactly. 81, 81. Right now, I'm seeing a buy and balance forming on ES now, right up against this in this zone in this pocket. So a lot more aggression to the buy side than it's selling, right? Because of the buy and balance. Now this breaks though. That's when you can see when they pull this liquidity. They didn't even touch it. They pull it through. They also yanked to the probably next one. So it's like 75s. Questions. And Abe, yeah. While we're waiting to see what happens here, you can definitely set up what we all have. If we're on Ninja, you can do the same thing. 80. They pulled all of those. Ate them. Yep, ate them. Blue, 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 blue. So big flushes here. More aggression to the sell side. There's big flushes yellow. 100 lots, 90 lots, 60 lots. So more aggression to the buy side as well. Like they want to keep this up. Now looking at my hourlies, definitely this is a big area to hold. This 80 level. Say lose this, I'm taking short. I'm gonna take it, but that's what I'm thinking. Down to the 75. If you lose this 30-minute open range high, just right at 80, basically. But yeah, these notes I'm noticing like real quickly at a glance what's happening. Like every single trade that I'm doing, I'm looking at the tape. Big buyer, 100 lots, 100 lots again. Yes, he did not want to get out of there at all. There was so much aggression to the sell side, but that ate up. All those buys came in, right? 100 lotters, 90 lots came in. No chance. And are up 4 points. There you go. So they never pulled those bids really. Like they all got filled. Aggressors that were hitting the tape. For me, big flashes of blue kept hitting the tape. Price wasn't going literally anywhere. And then when we started seeing those big buy orders come in, 100 lots, 90 lots come in the tape, it don't take it that long. You know, buy out those buyers. And then to pair it up, you have, an hourly buy and balance too. 5-minute buy balance up against the 30-minute open range low. So a 5-minute, right? 5-minute open range low. I mean, a 30-minute open range low buy and balance. Yes, sell and balance here, but the tape said otherwise. And then hourly, it's the same thing. Hourly buy and balance up against the 80s. Like your SO would have been below this candle, or like right on this POC. Previous candle POC could be a solid one right here. Losing this range, this POC from the previous candle. Abe, you don't have a paid license. But you know about that? You need a license, right? Well, footprints, right? Footprints, you need a paid license. Yeah. Ninja. Yeah, right. Come on, I see the pump, bro. I mean, I kind of gave that trade, but I didn't take it. Obviously, I mean, I'm just showing an example. What happens at 80 and big buyers come in? Like, yeah, we could buy a little late. You could have a resting order, but yeah, oh, you funny man. Yeah, yeah. And Dylan, so 30-minute opening range low. Get back to getting to your question. Yes. So Dylan, I use several. I'm just gonna kind of show you what I use. So I have for sure the open. Opens can be a really strong bull or bear line for the day. So the opening price, I have 30-minute opening range. You have the IB, so 60-minute opening range, and then the cosmic pivots and delta pivots. So those act as huge confluence areas. Obviously, you don't get the IB, you don't get the 30-minute opening range until they actually plot. Now, I don't always take them up when they first plot because usually the offer is bad signals. Like it's too kind of early in the day to take them. But I noticed when they pair up with the cosmic pivot levels or SDPs, then they're relatively strong indicators of market will move strongly in through that area through that level. But yeah, that's all I use for in terms of levels. Then intraday, of course, they have intraday levels from profile. What's created. You have like the value area low, high, low, and POG. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm gonna bring up that exact spot where I took that trade. Oh, here it is. Correct. I'm looking at least for a 5 minute close underneath 805 to confirm. Like at least 1 to 2 closes in the 5 minute for me. At least will confirm that this is accepted. If they are more aggressive to the sell side, so I probably wait for this kind of close underneath 805. But we kept closing above 805 with all these several buying balance. I didn't take my trade until here. Until we actually broke out, like until it actually ripped. And I closed my short. My closed my long, and I got 36 or something like that. But yeah, so I think these buying balances come in. I know there's a lot of aggression coming from this side. So once this one hit one more time, like I literally just one more time on his last rib, I just bet it. And it went that time. I could have taken it here or here or here, but it wasn't going anywhere for quite some time. It kind of waited a little bit longer. I decided to get a little bit thinner on the buy side, and then I just took it. I'm still biased. I'm still biased with to the long side, even if it breaks down and comes back down. I'm still betting on these to hold, regardless, right? So many times we get faked out here, like several times. Just it seems like it's gonna go higher, but volume side is fading, getting towards the highs. You have much smaller, and those are kind of tough to read sometimes. I understand, um, but usually I don't like to buy the breakouts. Like right when it breaks out at the top, I don't like to enter my long at all. Like I'd rather wait for a pullback to get half back, at least retest its POC, like the candle's POC to get high and to get long again. But this, for example, was a big fake out. I remember that it came right back down real fast. Um, but yeah, I don't like the entering longs at the breakouts. I end up getting messed up like way too many times. So if it pops, I want to make sure it's gonna hold that level that it just popped from to retake it. If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. A lot of this stuff is kind of the feel. the market's pulse. It's kind of cliche to say, right? But these are several rejection wicks on the last 8-10 long that we took and mentioned. It just like it honestly felt like sellers didn't have it at all. It honestly didn't. There's so many touches of the 805 very low. I just could not ignore the several buy bounces there that are just begging to be rebid. And if he flushes, I know I'm wrong. Then my stop would have been like 10 points. Like not much to risk, knowing that there is you have some of these guys are just adding size at the bottom. Um, that's how I feel about it. At least is understanding that. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yeah. See, you got to pivot there at 809, right? At gotcha. And yeah, there was an STP level to 813 as well. So I mean, those like yeah. I got that. Yep. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Almost identical at some points, right? Yeah, and that's kind of like the beauty about trading. You know what I mean? Like, uh, me and Blake and I are successful, but we have two different styles, so it doesn't really what it doesn't really matter what you use. Essentially, is how you use it, and we all have different ways of getting to the same conclusion. But as long as it makes sense to you, though, as long as the style makes sense to you, and when you can use it and know what your risk parameters are, then I think you're in a good spot. Um, mm. Some say 5 minutes is too much. Some say 5 minutes is way too long. It's way above price, right? Or it's way above initial entry. Well, look for fucking pullbacks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say. Sometimes you want the waiting is actually a good thing, right? You can run up the next 5 minute candle, then shoot back down, and then retest that same entry level, and you take long, right? Or same thing can be said when you're going short. So main focus. Go ahead. Hmm. Gotcha. So right now I'm looking at a few things now. So here we go. So here's my 5 minute. Here's the NQ DOM, and there's clearly no much liquidity above. I mean, this is gonna be it's a thin tape. I get it. It's a thin DOM on NQ, but like you find these areas, maybe 22 being the next possible short, or 33, some liquidity there. But I look dead left. Where else can I short from? Like, where else? There's some wicks here that rejected, yeah. But I'm looking at maybe this area here for short. 30, this 32, right? It's 30 area. Looking dead ass left. I'm looking here at 40 or 38 for a possible short. But yeah, like I said, like the tops of the candles are hard to notice. But I want to see hesitation, right? Hesitation from buyers. I want to see this number grow. If this is a sell imbalance, it's gone now, right? I want that number to grow in size, and I want to see on the tape side. I want to see more flushes of blue. And let's see, go NQ. See what happens at the DOM here. Blue flush, blue flush, less yellow, less yellow, more blue. Get it? You get it now? More blue. All right, there you go. These are all. Look at that. Fucking beautiful. Fucking beautiful. All right, and there you go. Yeah, yeah, there you go. So look dead ass left, lot of rejection. You see the tape thinning out to the buy side. Sell imbalance. Tape. Sell it. They're hitting the bid. All bid side. There you go. And that's almost 30 points. Almost. Not 20 points. Anyway. Someone clip that. What is this, Twitch? Uh, but yeah. Oh, and from my exit, I mean, that would have been exit for me. Just aggressive buying at the bottom, and close to the 9 EMA. I mean, that's like standard, right? You're just playing off 5 minute candles. I mean, that's pretty easy to identify. Now you just have the detailed version of a 5 minute candle with a footprint, right? 5 minute retest to 5 minute retest to 9 EMA. Buyers want to hold this up, buy and balance, take profit. That's wraps. I wouldn't hold this. I wouldn't hold short anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that being now we're about to open now. I mean, come on. Like I'm not gonna hold short um, at the moment. These are all scalps. I would not have held shorts for very long, knowing that you have underneath you have the 30-minute upper range high and then open in the mid in the IB. So and congrats, fucking Eddie. Fucking really. You started what at 140? Wow. And you passed the combine in an hour. You beast. What's your lot size, man? Like 5? Fuck. You're nuts, man. Yeah. He needs help. Dude, that's like your 11th time doing that in the same day in an hour. I swear to God, you do that like every time I buy one. I'll go past him because I mean, it wasn't luck. He was scalping. You know what I mean? He wasn't holding. It wasn't holding through news. He wasn't. He was definitely taking legit trades. He was just hella aggressive with it. Yeah, the entries are really important. Like the exits, you can definitely just scale. You know what I mean? But like, I mostly do a lot of all in, all out trades. Like just lock in everything and then reassess. Like that's most of my trading days are lock in the points that I have, and then I just lock in all those points as much as I can to build a buffer, early in the session, and then I will try and go hold runners towards the later half in the session. Just know that I have a buffer to let it go against me a little bit. I'm not worried about like losing profits. Like I'll lock in points, and let a runner to BE. You know what I mean? Then it'd be a free trade because you scaled it on the way up. 10 points, 12 points, whatever. Lock it in. But the entry is so important. You got to find where price is basically hesitating from. Like is it hesitating to drive through one of our pivots, one of our levels? Like earlier today, ES and NQ just touched value area low for like the fourth time. Could not find responsive sellers at the lows. Just absolutely could not. I actually walked away right before that happened. I went to go make some food, came back, and we ripped 20 points on ES. And then so the value area low was critical for that. And being that it's a Friday, I would not put it behind them to ramp this up from there later in the session. And if it were to dip down, I mean, lows can go. Then it's probably the previous candle low before he re-ramped, and it got nowhere near there. Probably it would have been your stop, which is right maybe around 53 on ES, maybe 57, 58. Sheesh. Hmm. So give me an example of what happened. Like, do you take a long and okay. Huh, I see. Well, talk to me more about what you think about what delta is, because delta doesn't paint the whole picture, right? But also delta has nothing to do with volume, right? It's just the difference between buys and sells. So think about the aggression there, right? Like, where's the volume? Because delta doesn't tell the whole story. You can have five trades, but delta be like 80, 100% delta. You have like four traders there that did absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? Delta could be skewed. So delta could be falling on low volume. You know what I mean? Thinking, oh yeah, it's gonna go sideways, it's gonna probably go lower, whatever. But the volume really will pick up, right? The volume will definitely cater to that. Oh yes, I notice those patterns that the volume is picking up and it's being more aggression to the buy side. You see all the buy volume, all the buy delta instead of overall cumulative delta. Is that what you're noticing? Um, and then back to the trade with the A10 on my screen, it was negative deltas for the first couple of candles, and then I'll kind of pull this up right here. So negative delta, you had -6%, 1%, and then look at delta's percentages, are higher. Mm, that's right. Yeah, that's what I like about motive wave is I can just do this cross trade. I can throw in cross trade M and Q and have the same exact charts for Nasdaq. So right now, if I take a trade, it'd be I'm in Q, but I'm still using I'm still using data from the actual NQ, the micro, instead of I'm using minis. Yeah, the mini chart, and then playing the micro. So that could be the big difference there. I think we are trying to do because the amount of volume on the minis, I mean, on the micros are far more. You just tack on 5 lots, 10 lots. Like it's peanuts, right? But yeah, as I was saying about that, for me, the delta started picking up, getting more green deltas on that push, and that's how I took a long on that last push, and I got lucky. I mean, it went up quickly on that one. Uh, I think what helped is also the 5 minutes, 5 minute open right before the next period, which just shows a little more volatility than most. Blake, you sneaky snake. A12 long, nice. Or 912 long. Yeah, I mean, it's not, we're about to close now, so it's a nice trade. Sniper, eh? Miscellaneous. Nice. A lot of liquidity down there at 900. Let's see if they can take it back. Okay, 902 has 133 of them. It's kind of big for NQ. 902, there's 130 lots. 950. Oh, that motherfucker. I haven't seen that one. Who dead ass in the middle? That's funny. Should I pin this sideways or what? That's what it seems like. What did we do today? We didn't do shit. holy holy fuck. Yeah, look at the market profile. And wine profile, we didn't do shit. Right. So Abe, I mean, because when I flip the DOM, usually it's not located. If I take an NQ trade or an ES trade, and this is my NQ DOM, it won't show my position because this is the NQ DOM, and I'm trading ES, and vice versa. But the one thing I will say, because the market moves really fast, I think the best trades are the ones for ES because they give you a little more time for entry. Could be 1 to 3 ticks away from entry. And when I first called the trade, it gives you a little more time. Whereas Nasdaq, it can be really really aggressive. The moment I get in, it just goes up, or down, whatever. But if you can get roughly between 5 to 7 points with an entry, I think that's decent enough. But sometimes it can move against you pretty quickly. But if it's like around 5 points away from my entry, then on Nasdaq at least, I think that's still a decent opportunity for a trade. You just have to take profits a little bit sooner than you would think, and take profits when I take profits. And I want to say maybe 3 to 5 points, right, of entry is like more ideal because you can't get the exact one unless it comes back to price. Then you can take it, Or if I say an entry, you can have a limit order, exact same spot, and if it comes back, great. If it doesn't, cool. You probably missed it, or you can probably, you know, take it at a slight pullback into that same spot. So I think you have to be diligent in that, but also you have your own biases as well. So if I'm long, or Blake and I are long, and thinking about shorting, I mean, don't take my R long. You know what I mean? Like don't take it. And the reason why I say that, because it needs to be in line with what you're thinking as well, or else it won't work out. You're just going to be tailing trades. You're not learning anything. But if you have the same bias, for example, and like, oh, you know why you want to be long, and we're long as well, then you have your reasons and we have our reasons. If they match, great. But I think you can have a better situation or a better understanding of the market and how it moves if you have, that same, if we're in sync, if you will. Um, just know that your thesis and our thesis are on the same. Like obviously, X trader, and he's killing his combines, yeah. And he goes, "Oh, I'm short here." Like I'm not just gonna tail this trade, you know. You know what I mean? Same thing can be said, when you say we're long and we're short, like don't immediately just hop in. Although we have decent hit rates, it just feels like you should almost have the same bias behind it as well. Just don't blindly go into a trade because you don't know. Like, and before entering a trade, you should already know your private targets on your own and your stop loss. Abe, you'll get this, man. Trading futures is very difficult, very very difficult. But lucky for you, we're here. All right, gang. I, nearing the close now. Kind of in the last couple seconds of market. Did pretty well this week. All right, any more questions? About the rep. For sure. Anytime, man. Anytime. I think we'll go into a little more in depth with tape reading, and I think and the DOM as well. I think it's a way better look with the ES for sure, and reading it. And here's just freaking wild. And actually, the whole week this week, I've been uh, I've been playing NQ, reading the ES tape and reading the ES DOM. Hmm? Um, for the DOM on ES, uh, let me pull it up on the side of the screen. Right now, 100 minimum. Lately, I've been doing like 60 to 100, depending on the liquidity. Right now, it's like 100, right here. So if it's like 100, I'll do like 100, initially. Or if the market's thin that day, I'll go like maybe to 60. So it really depends on a minimum. If the dominant, of liquidity for that day is pretty thin, then you can obviously change the minimum order size. But max probably do like 300. Oh, time and sales. NQ is 2 lots, and then ES is 5. And I totally get why like Blake will have like 10 lots on the dom, but you won't get those kind of flushes of above bid and below ask, or you won't get those size lots orders like that in that aggression, because you're always going to be seeing 10 at the minimum, right? So you don't see those flushes happening quickly, if that makes sense. So that's why I use the smaller like 5 lot for ES and 2 for NQ, because who's playing NQ with 10 lots? You know what I mean? Like the retail is trading 1 to 3 lots at all times anyway. So, and you're gonna see those big lots coming on the dom anyway. If they were to come more than 25 or something, then show up regardless. And then ES is just really fast when you have like the 5 lots. But still, even then, you can see those stacks of above bid and then below bid, or above ask. Whatever you want to filter. What was that? Oh, yeah. I don't want to see more hairy dudes on my screen. It's all good. Just kidding. All right, Daniel. Later, man. All right, later, guys. Um, Turn off the mic. Gonna enjoy the weekend. Peace. Have a good one.